All right, heart folks, how are my heartbeats this wonderful day? I am bringing you another very special guest. She is a colleague of mine. I have worked with her in the capacity of life coaching, and we are both instructors with the Transcendent Life Institute. So, big up TLC and the members, big up, big up. All right, so I'm bringing to you Miss Simone Kennedy, and she is a licensed professional counselor, and she specializes with those who have codependencies, addictions, those who have assertiveness issues, and severe trauma. She works for the Georgia Psychological Treatment Center, and I'm also bringing her here to tell you other ways on how to heal. You know, this is what this channel is about, talking to different practitioners who can give you other ways on how you can heal, other ways, other perspectives to think about, and also other practitioners that you can call upon when you need some support or you have friends or family that need support. So I'd like to introduce to you again, Simone Kennedy. How are you, darling?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
It's so good to see you again. And thank you for being an honored guest. So tell me a little bit about your practice and how and what do you do for your clients?
Okay. Well, I've kind of like split between there's my clinical work that I do for Georgia Psychological Treatment Center. And that's uh the chunk of what I do. And I work Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 7. And so what I do with my clients there, it's always a mixture. I have, a couple, I think they're all out of high school right now. So I have like some college freshmen, and that's the age group I've been working with. And then I have some that are, in their 50s and 60s as well. So I work with a range of clients.
That's interesting working with those that are just coming out of high school. What in particular do you see the greatest issues or challenges that they have? You know, technology, folks, we get stuck.
It broke up a little bit.
Yeah, I
I think I
see. It was a
said
little
that.
unstable, but I was asking you, what type of challenges do you have with those that have just graduated high school?
Mm, I think they're all very different people. But one thing that they all have in common is the issue with, the pandemic, like 2020, and what that did to their social skills and their mood and um,
Mm,
that. Even though some of them started seeing me maybe around 2021 and 2022. Some of them didn't. So I think that was a big piece for those that were in high school at that time. That's what they all have in common.
interesting. I noticed that you said that you also work with assertiveness. What does that mean when you say you work with assertiveness?
Um, I have a lot of clients who, well, I notice a lot of
Sorry,
clients.
folks, I forgot to turn off my ringer. Go ahead.
I don't think I did either. So, I have clients who I think after, any particular trauma or just dysfunctional families, there are people who are afraid to speak up and they're
Mm,
used to people pleasing. So just a reminder in that work that you're a person too, and getting people to just take a lot more space.
mm. So when you say a lot of them have lost their voice, they can't find their voice, what type of things do you do to help them find their voice?
Let's see, sometimes we go back to when they lost it. What did that look like? Actually feeling that emotional pain that came up at that time where they
Mhm,
lost their voice, or just making the choice by choice awareness that here is a moment that I can speak up. Noticing when there's like swallowing what they need to say and actually speaking up in that moment.
mhm,
Um, Things like that. Sometimes it's role playing. Sometimes it's just seeing how irrational the thought is of not saying what they need to say
mhm.
or behaving the way they want to behave, things like that.
That good. And do they come to you on their own, or they come to you because from a parent? How does one know to look for these signs that I really need some extra support from a clinician?
Um, let's see, how did they come to me? I really like,
And not particularly you, but how would they know to seek help? Or is it
because
usually someone else that refers? And what is the breakdown that they say, you know what? I need a therapist. I need a clinician who can help me find that assertiveness to be able to talk for myself.
I would say that usually people wait until it's really bad, that they don't have any other choice but to go to somebody to make sure they're not the crazy one.
Mm,
Um, but I would hope people would go sooner than that. You
mhm,
know, like some people feel like physical pain. Some people put on a lot of weight. Um, so I mean, there's so many other symptoms,
mhm.
but but you know it's time to do that work just when you have that inkling of like I'm not being my full self.
Okay, so that is when they know that they've had maybe missed opportunities because they did not assert themselves and say, I know, especially like in for a job, I know that I'm the one, but I didn't put in that application or I didn't show up like I should have in those incidents. Or maybe, imagining for those that are starting college, those that have just graduated high school, they are maybe shy to compete because in college there's a various range of ages, and maybe they are just really knowing that they have to be able to socialize and to be able to speak up for themselves. I guess I imagine that even they may have had some form of bullying in their life or some kind of uh, physical or verbal abuse. And now they're
Mhm.
realizing that this is not serving me. So and even
Right.
having jobs, right? So yeah. So if we recognize those things, I'm sure we now know that we should be referring them and bringing that up to them. How do we get people to, if people don't see it, but not, maybe, does one of our viewers recognize this about maybe their child friend or family member? How do we even bring that up to tell them that they need to see someone without them getting very defensive or insulted about that?
A
Okay.
little bit you said, how do we refer without or suggest without them getting wet?
Offended or insulted.
um I think one good way to do it is make sure you're modeling it first. um that's what I tell my clients is like if you're modeling family is going to wonder what you're doing.
Hmm.
And but referring is just sharing information. Sometimes people get offended, they can get offended and then see the usefulness in it afterwards. But I
Right.
wouldn't, you know, use statements need to do this or you need to do that. It would be more like I would appreciate if you check this out.
Hmm. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And just a little bit about the codependency. What does that mean for people who are not sure what everything entails with codependency?
Can you repeat it? It broke up a little bit.
Yeah, I do apologize, Simone and viewers. I'm on one of those, I might as well just call it out. I'm on Zoom. And sometimes I have good reception here. I just checked it to see if, my signals are strong, and they are. So sometimes it's interruption. It's morning time and it's typical. A lot of people are using this platform. So I apologize
That's
again
true.
for the in and out. So just have a little patience with us. Thank you so much. So I was wondering a little bit more about codependency because we've heard that terminology. How does one recognize that they are codependent? And again, if they recognize that their friends or family members are codependent, how do we recognize that? What are some of the signs and symptoms for that?
I would say the severe signs is they're always in a toxic relationship. They can't be without a relationship
Mm,
from one people or more than one at one time.
mm,
Um, and that could be a romantic relationship. Some people are codependent and they more so like hoard people where they know that it's time to let people go and they don't let people go. Um, they're getting something from that person's presence that is unconscious to them and not spoken to the other person. Um, there's codependency where somebody is always the caretaker,
mm,
where somebody's always being taken care of,
mhm,
you know. So I think that's the way you can see it.
mm,
Um, sometimes some people can be codependent also in work relationships as well. So it can look plenty of ways, but it's just that that person doesn't have the confidence on their own. They're unable to spend time by themselves, um, not for like safety reasons or things like that, but they're just very uncomfortable being with themselves and
mm.
don't have that confidence. So
Right.
I would
And so if
say,
someone recognized within themselves that they felt like they were codependent, other than seeing a professional, what are some of the things that they could do just to start getting out of that codependency?
I would say I'm a huge fan of journaling. You
Mhm.
know, I always ask my clients to write down their attributes, their skills, their traits, um, and and really, live in that.
Mhm.
Also, write down the somebody else has, and then start putting those things into yourself or start seeing them yourself because most people already have it, they just don't see it.
See it. Mm.
Um,
So
and then
writing
take
down those
tiny steps.
characteristics that they would like to see in themselves. Okay.
Right, right. Um, let's see. Let's see. What else is there? Or just doing that. I feel like some people have that one thing that they really want to do.
Mhm.
Um, and just going
Yeah,
like yourself wrong.
I agree. Just do it. And then, having, if you have an accountability partner, if you have someone that is willing to support you, but not make you dependent on them. Sometimes, you have to learn the boundaries. And I think that for those who are codependent, boundary lessons are really important for them too. All right, Simone. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about the other half of your love of what you do. And
Mhm,
you teach enneagrams. Am I pronouncing
mhm.
that correct? E-N-N.
Well,
Go ahead.
Enneagrams, well, I teach about the Enneagram.
Okay.
Um,
Tell us what that is and spell that out for people so they kind of figure what we're talking about here. And I'll write it
okay.
in the description as well.
It's Enneagram.
GRM.
Enneagram.
Okay. And it,
GRAM.
I got it. All right. So tell us, what is that?
What is it? It is, there's It's when you see it, it's a symbol, and it has 9 points around a circle. So
Mm,
that Enya is for nine, and then gram, I believe, is symbol.
okay.
Um, and what it is a spiritual tool. And it's two parts that I teach: the personality part, which a lot of people are familiar with, of knowing their type, knowing their wings, their subtypes. Some people go by tri-types. Um, and then, so getting into that, getting into what is our, we suffer,
Hmm.
and then there is the other portion of it, which is the spirit. Like, it's both of them are spiritual, but there's Gurdjieff's version of it, which I'm getting more into as I teach the other one, is how it's a process that you're utilizing to get, like, to go up, to spiral upwards in consciousness.
Mm,
So that is the mixture. So the class at TLC and personality, because they're a little bit separate. Okay, they have like different origins, but the same. It's just like some things lose in translation over time.
I get it. So, I want to go back to the personalities. Are there a different, I know there are different types. Is there a number of personalities that is general, or how does that work? Is there like nine different personalities that we
Well,
have, and do we all have them within ourselves? Does this have anything to do with bipolar and schizophrenia? How do these
okay.
personalities show up?
Yeah. So there are nine basic types, and I like to start people with figuring out just their basic type first.
So
The
there's an
wings are
assessment
important.
for that. There's an assessment for that
An
to figure
assessment.
out your
Mm-hmm.
personality. Okay.
Right there, I think it's called the quick. And and then you can figure it out that way. I really recommend that with me, but it's the wisdom of the Enneagram
The
by,
wisdom of
I
the
believe, it's Ross
Enneagram.
Hudson.
And you cut out a little bit the name of the quiz, or you said there's the quick, and then we got kind of broken up there.
It's quick, Enneagram sorting test quest. So
Okay.
you can put that in.
Okay.
Okay. And you can also, so there's 6 paragraphs that you choose two from.
Okay. All right. And
Or you rank them.
so once you learn your personality type, how does that empower you?
How it empowers you. First, I would say that the Enneagram, it's not the, you're going to see the bad parts before you see the good parts with the test.
Mhm.
So it helps you see how your ego gets fixed
I am. We are
here,
acting
or
up
basic difference.
today. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
this we are acting up. I've never seen so we've have quite a bit of unstable connections here. So Simona might have to do this over again, but we're gonna try to go through. So
Okay.
when I send it to you, if you're like, let's do it again, I hope you choose to. Thank you. Continue. So we were talking about what do we do once we recognize the personality type?
Mm-hmm. Once you first of all, there's a step of humiliation that comes with it.
Mm,
Because you have to see how your ego is moving, right? Like how it's doing what it's doing, how we manipulate other people, basically.
mm,
And everybody,
mm,
at average levels, everybody is manipulating other people,
mm,
right? Um, and then let's see. Then the way you use it is you're consistently stepping into self-awareness, self-remembering, um, embodiment, and there's another one that I like to say, but I can't. Oh, self-compassion. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so as you do that, you, especially with the self-remembering, you have moments where you can see your essence is very much there.
Hmm.
You can see that the way you fixated is actually not serving you.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, everybody, when we let our ego lead,
Hmm.
it's taking us away from what we actually desire.
Desire. True. Yeah. Actually, I just had a client last night, and she sent me a text, and she was saying how she was telling her partner that he continues to do this yelling and gets angry very quickly, and it frustrates the whole family. And he also, in turns, feels upset that she's not being more endearing to him. And so I had said something similar to what you're saying is as far as self-remembering and stepping back and taking a look at what do you think that you said to create that reaction from your partner, and
Mhm.
just hearing yourself say it and watching that individual's reactions, the body language. And then if you can see and notice that, then is this something that you think that you can rephrase? So take the ego out, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then and then maybe you can just ask a question or explain. I even said, when you become more self-aware and you know that you're feeling angry or that you've had this full day, and and you still have not calmed down from some of the anger and the frustration, when you come home, it's very, very natural to go ahead and project that on your loved ones. It's mainly your loved
Mhm.
ones. It's not your friends or other folks. It's the person that you live with or the person that you love and depend, and you feel that they know you more than anybody else, where we project that to.
Right,
And so
completely.
once I was able to explain that, and a lot of, if you can just kind of recognize how you feel, and then just say, you know what, I may sound very angry, or I may be getting angry at you, and it's because I've had a hard day. So please excuse me. I said that if you just try to explain how you feel, then there it kind of changes the whole atmosphere.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's similar to understanding your personality type.
Yeah, definitely. Like I like how you said, explain how you feel.
Hmm.
Um, and because like when it comes to our egos, it's like one person they present theirs, and
Hmm.
another person they feel like all they can do is step into theirs as well. So you're just
Right.
having that little battle of
Right.
separation with each other.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah. So how long is this course that you take?
Um, the course,
Yeah.
the it it's I've worked with the Enneagram is designed to be 10 weeks, but I also designed it to come after the master retreats that TLC has, because I give them a preview of understanding what it is at the retreats that have come after I graduated, and then there's 10 weeks. Um, but it can go on and on and on. So it may be another
Mm,
10-week class after that class. Um,
mm. Okay. So that's 10 weeks. And how many is that every day? How often is that? Once a week? How many hours is that?
um, once a week, 2 hours for 10 weeks.
Okay, so here you have it, folks. It's in Decatur. I'd love for you to be able to get in contact if you're interested in really delving more into enneagrams and how that can benefit you. It's another self-development tool and helping you to have more self compassion and to be able to communicate and have a better relationship with yourself first and with others. And you know, that's what I'm about, healing me before we. That's what and of course, loving yourself so that you can be more loving to others. And in these days, we need more love. And we have to be able to pour that into our children so that we grow more loving, self aware, mindful children for the next generation coming. So I really, really, really am so glad that you shared this because I'm sure people, a lot of people have not heard of this other modality and that you taught us some things to look about for codependency and assertiveness. So if you have and know children because of the social restraints of them always being at home alone, you know, that they need to learn how they can use their voice so that they can become the leaders in which they are. You know, the other day, Simone, I took my grandchildren to the roller skating ring, and it was on the holiday, it was on Labor Day, and it was quiet and there were more younger kids there, but it was quiet, so the rink was really open for them to have fun and do what they did. They went around a couple of times. We bored. I said, "What you mean you're bored? There's nobody here." I was like, "I
Um,
better get back out there." I said, "You don't like the music? Yeah, the music is okay." I said, "Well, go out there and have fun." And they were like, "I don't know what
uh,
you call that with these kids these days. They just do not know how to have fun." Anyway, so before we end, I always ask my guests, how do you take care of your heart? So what do you do for your physical heart?
for my physical heart,
Mhm.
walks,
Okay.
veggies, sunlight,
Veggies,
um,
sunlight. I love that.
stretching,
Okay.
and journaling.
And
Always journaling.
that's what you told. That's right.
Getting stuff off
Beautiful.
of the heart. Yeah.
There you go, journaling, getting stuff off the heart. A lot of people are still shy about journaling because they feel like they have to write their deep, dark secrets, but not necessarily so, right? You can just write things
Oh.
that you're thankful for, things that you're grateful for, maybe some insights, maybe a quote, maybe something that you've learned on the Heart Lady channel. Hey. And what do you do to heal your emotional heart? Because I know that you work with a lot of people who have emotional and severe trauma. And we didn't really talk about severe trauma, but what type of things do you suggest or and do you do for yourself?
Um, Things I suggest to deal with my emotional heart. Um, let's say like upping my energetic boundaries or my energetic hygiene is
Mhm,
big.
mhm.
Um, for my heart, I think what I like about being a counselor is that I see people heal. And so I know that people can heal. And even the worst of what I've seen, they come out and they're resilient and that they've done the work.
Yeah.
And so that's very healing within itself is to witness
Hmm.
um, people come back to themselves over and over again.
Right. Got you. And so you use journaling to help heal your emotional heart, and of course, talking to other coaches such as ourselves, because I always believe every coach needs a coach or needs a specialist that can help
Yeah.
so we can get these things off besides our loved ones. And lastly, what do you do to for your spiritual heart? What do you do to help grow that?
Mm, my spiritual heart. I think that it is, and I think you said like connecting with other people, and you know, the heart openers of like yoga poses, dancing is a
Hmm.
big one. I think
Yeah,
that's necessary
very
to
necessary. Yeah, I like
um,
that.
Let's see. Uh, I watch a lot of lectures, like, because I'm a type 5, so I watch a lot of lectures. So understanding the spirituality behind it all,
Yeah.
is it's humbling, but it's also just very comforting to know that everything is working together.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So you said you're a type 5. What does that mean?
a type 5 is my work is allowing myself to be seen because I am kind of a recluse if you leave me to my own devices. Um, so that watching lectures, that's how I feel very comfortable with my books and my lectures. But it is basic fear of wanting a basic fear of how do I say it, of being seen as worth, and then the basic desire is the quite opposite,
You're
right?
seen as
And so
worthy. Yeah.
yeah, the fives, they're usually the ones in the back, not drawing any attention to
Attention
them,
to,
and
yeah.
they have these huge ideas and things like that that are hard to even put into words at some point. So, yeah, that's
This
what
is
that
very
is.
necessary because we need those people in the back doing the work. I think of that as the maybe the person who, if you think of of a movie or a story, maybe it's the person, the creator of the story, but they're not the ones that are doing the acting, and they're not the director, but they are the ones in the back who are molding the story to see it get to what we see on TV or whatever
Yeah.
film media. Would that
Yeah.
be accurate?
And
Yeah.
our gift is like of non-attachment.
Mm.
So it is that like I'm here,
Hmm.
but I'm not in it, you
In
know?
it, and I don't have to be.
I don't have to be. Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable where I am. I think that that's real interesting. Heartbeats, I think it's interesting to really talk to Simone a little bit more and understand what the different personality types are, not only for yourself, but whom you may be working with or living with or seeing in your children, whether they're young or adults. I think this is a great way of learning more about ourselves. So Simone, so have you started your class already? Is there a new class coming up soon?
Well, the new class, it's not going to be this semester. It may not be next semester.
Okay.
Uh, but my other website, which I can give you,
Yes, please. Yeah.
um, Infinite Inner Evolution, and
Infinite Inner Evolution. Got it.
.com. And then that way people can, I also do astrology so they can get astrology readings. If
Okay.
you want a consultation over the Enneagram, that's available.
Hmm.
If I have enough people who are interested, I could make a class through that too. So that could be another class addition to what we do at Transcendent Life Coach.
Beautiful. I love that. Is there in on your website, are there any handouts, any more information that we can get, or we should just go to your website and we'll learn more about it and be able to converse with you?
Well, my favorite website is enneagraminstitute.com,
Okay.
and people can learn quite a bit from that alone. Um, so if they're interested in that, the Enneagram, I would say, there's a test. I think it's only $10. Go and explore your type. You can figure out um, it may take a little bit of work because sometimes people mistype themselves quite often, but you can figure out what your partner is, what their potential blind spots are, the benefits, all of that good stuff. And if somebody just needs to be walked through it,
That's
you
why they
can,
can call you.
yeah.
Absolutely. Once you do the test, you're going to need some interpretation. And that's why we have a master life coach and a clinician such as Simone Kennedy. Thank you so much for being part
Thank
of
you.
the Heart Ladies channel. And we look forward to talking with you soon, especially when your classes are coming up. And maybe we can, go through a quiz together. And then maybe if
Mhm.
I can be so bold and figure out what my personality type is. So there are 9 of them. So who knows? All right. I'd love to go a little further with you. So, and then, definitely have a better forum where we're not cutting in and out. So again, I apologize if there are some interruptions. If you want me to interview this lovely lady again, all you got to do is ask us. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care now. Ciao.
Okay. Bye.